Okay, I wanted to show you guys something that I thought was actually pretty cool. Um, I'm not, big fan of the AI hype and all that kind of thing. Uh, I look at it as a advanced search engine, and yeah, not that big of a fan. I don't think it should be everywhere. Um, Mostly because I don't know if someone is using it, they still need to have enough knowledge of the subject matter to know if the uh, whichever service they're using is telling the truth or not, or lying to them. But I was fiddling with it, kind of running a test on it the other day, and specifically this was OpenAI, ChatGPT. Uh, so I have been dabbling on making a cell phone or smartphone to start working on the Android open source project and learning how to do that. So I wanted to create a CAD file to be able to kind of dabble with it. So I downloaded FreeCAD. Let me move this over here so you can see it. Can't really see it right there. FreeCAD, and I was kind of playing with this. Um, Let me go. I'm going to go ahead and open it, and I'll show you too. While it's open, I'll show you. So I went into ChatGPT, and I wanted like a walkthrough tutorial on how to use specifically FreeCAD, and kind of dabbled with that. It did okay, and then I started fiddling with uh, the macro that you can do with FreeCAD. Uh, and you can see these right here. ChatGPT was able to create a macro that would build uh, these files, so I can 3D print them. Before I got that advanced with it, so I made this little thing, right? Because I wanted to see dimensional wise uh, how it would fit in a person's hand, like where I could place the cameras, the little flashlight. I wanted to have like old school battery removal. Uh, Moved away from that. Um, be able to place like the USB-C cable, the microphones, speakers. Uh, let's see, a audio jack, and then speakers and microphone on the top. Uh, then volume button and an actual physical toggle to turn the phone off completely in an instant, um, or at least you know quickly whenever your capacitors run out there. Anyway, just that one. Uh, so that actually felt pretty good. And I gave it to some elderly people to test to see how it would fit in their hand before I started running, building more into it. That's my coffee milk. Um, but anyway, so then, so we went from this little block, right? Just a block, to this, which, you know, kind of, you can see here, got our cutouts and spot for our uh, components. It has the little bottom cutouts and everything. So I'm able to 3D print these now, and kind of was dabbling with it. And I wanted to go a little bit further than that. So then I started to refine it a little more. So I switched the camera around, put the Uh, put the flashlight above it. Still has the toggle for the power and for the volume. Uh, added in more detail on the bottom for the audio jack, USB-C, one microphone, two speakers. Then you got two speakers and two microphones on the top. Uh, and that kind of got me thinking, like, how much further could I go with this? And that's where we come in here. So if we look at these pictures, uh, that's actually the PCB, the portable circuit board. Uh, and I'm actually going to try to print that off. And you know what? Let's open it. Let's open one. So let's go to our micros. Let's see. So these are the last versions. So let's open that. Let's execute it. Like I say, I'm not, and I don't really know anything about FreeCAD. This is the first time I've opened it, played with it. See what this looks like. This is what ChatGPT was able to build in a macro. It is pretty impressive. Uh, and this is the first time I've actually been impressed by uh, AI of any sort, because most of what I've worked on is automation, uh, which this is automation. It's just a different kind of thing, but one way or another, um, pretty impressive. So I'm actually going to print these out and uh, see if I can turn it into a real device. Let's see what these other macros are. Let's see. So I want to go macros, and then we want to open this up. Hit that PCB. So I'll be able to go through and make a oh, dog's going crazy. Someone must have pulled in the drive. But I plan to actually build this and see what I can do. Got to work on that Snapdragon deal. That's not available, so I'm gonna have to change some things. Um, but yeah, hold on. Let me get this other macro. Let's snap. And that snap. Oh, recurve or not. Okay, so brings us to a good point. Everything it wasn't as straightforward as I'm presenting it right now. There were a lot of broken errors and things like that. And actually, when I quit playing with ChatGPT, actually the last rendition, it forgot to put these bottom components on here. The speaker, the audio jack. It kept the USB-C port. It didn't have. Oh, that's what it was. It had the speakers. It had the USB-C, but it didn't have the audio jack or the microphone spot. Um, which it's pretty small, like compared to like a person that doesn't really, as long as you're, you know, if you pay attention to detail to make sure it's not doing something you don't want it to, you can design something like this with it. And if you're not play with FreeCAD, I recommend it. It's kind of fun. Um, it's kind of like To me, it's kind of like you're drawing in a digital space. It's kind of like coloring. Just take your time with it. You don't got to be fast. Uh, Learn what you're doing. Oh, in college we used the Autodesk suite, so we used most of their software. But this is pretty impressive. Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see these other. Let's go in here. Let's see. Be individual. That's our base. So this was our PCB1 there. These snaps. I wonder why that's not working now. Oh, there we go. So we need to be on this one to get it to work. So yeah, it actually designs these snaps. So this part of the phone will snap to the main portion here. Pretty nifty. Let's open that up. Switch over to this. And you can, it actually placed these. I don't know if this is to size or not, to scale, but just the idea that you can take a prompt, it write you a macro that you can run and it'll build this. It's pretty cool. Now, is it going to work in the real world? I really doubt it. Because it doesn't, the ChatGPT doesn't have the long-term thinking, so it puts things together. I shouldn't say that. I don't really know that much about how it functions, but I know it made this macro. So if you thought that was nifty, you can play with that and see if it will work for you. But yeah, I'm kind of impressed. Like I say, I want to print these out and see if it'll actually work. Similar to the way that these ones did. Because that's the first, I mean, you get into prototype so quickly. And if it will print out nicely, I'm actually going to get that CNC cut, so that I can put it together. And maybe I'll make a video about it and show you guys. But yeah, that's pretty nifty. Anyway, that's my project. And if you try this and it doesn't go as smoothly, just know I went through that same thing to get here. It wasn't a smooth transition, but if you go back in and you remind in the prompt that it's supposed to have this, put this back, that back, you could even do it in a, let's see, let's open one of those macros. I think this is how we do that. Let's do this. Let's edit that. So you can go through and get your base measurements ready, and then you can start doing them 1, 2, 3. So you can do them in blocks rather than trying to do all of it at one time. Yeah, and you just kind of fiddle with it until you get something you like. Well, anyway, you have a good night.